What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk about the best cameras on my favorite smartphones. Now, I'm doing 8 smartphones. These are the best cameras on these 8 smartphones. Now, of course, I have more than 8 smartphones, but these are the ones that, that stay in rotation, the ones that I use the most. Of course, I have others that, I use every now and again, but, they're not in constant rotation. All right. So I don't expect everybody to agree with my list. It's my list. It's based on my opinion and the fact that I have all of these phones and that I've taken pictures with all these phones. I've done reviews on all of these phones. So if you want to see pictures and videos, just check out, my full reviews on each and every one of these devices. I'll put little bubbles up on top after every device that I do, so you can check that review out and just go right to the camera section and check it out. Or you can just watch the whole review. It's up to you. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to go from number 8 to number 1. So coming in, and I'm going to give you some specs of the camera as well. Not every single detail, but just, just the broad look at the specs, all right? So let's get started. First up is coming in at number 8, the LG Wing. Now, of course, you can see 3 cameras on the back. I like the cameras on this device, and the thing about it, I like, the picture quality is really good. The imaging quality and processing, really good. Seriously, I don't really have any issues. I mean, the nights ones is, not the greatest, but overall, I really do like the images and the video on, well, definitely the video, because I use manual mode when I'm using this camera. I mean, this phone most of the time. And the manual mode is unbelievable. I mean, it's so beautiful. And I only shoot at 1080 at 1080p at 60. I don't even shoot in 4K, because the reason I don't shoot at 4K is because it just takes up so much space. And then when I'm trying to upload 4K videos at 60, it takes forever. So I feel like 1080p at 60 is good enough. And it looks good. I mean, I'm happy with it. So this is coming in at number 8. Now, this comes with a 64 megapixel wide with optical image stabilization, 13 megapixel ultra wide, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Now, I wish they had put a telephoto lens on here, or the periscope, but it would have been nice if they put at least a telephoto. I don't know why they felt like they needed to put 2 ultra wides. I think that was a waste of a lens. I think one of them should have been a telephoto, but it is what it is. You can definitely shoot 4K at 60 and 8K at 24 frames per second. Now with the selfie, you got a 32 megapixel pop-up selfie that shoots at 1080p at 30 frames per second. So no 1080p at 60 on the front and no 4K at all. So that's number 8, the LG Wing. And of course, I love this device because of this reason right here too. I love this LG Wing. That's number 8. All right, coming in at number 7. Now this might surprise some people. The OnePlus 8 Pro. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. Now I haven't had the 9 Pro, the 10 Pro, and I have yet to get the 11. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I've used a lot of OnePlus devices over the years. This is by far the best camera that I've ever used on a OnePlus device ever. And I'm sure maybe the 9 Pro is better, or maybe the 10 Pro or the 11 is better. That's possible. I don't know. I haven't had those, but I'm saying based on the ones that I've had previous, this is by far the best set of cameras I've ever used on a OnePlus device. See back here, you got your 3 cameras back here. Now with this, you got a 48 megapixel wide with optical image stabilization and laser autofocus, which is always good. 8 megapixel telephoto, which I like, with optical image stabilization and 3 times optical zoom. A 48 megapixel ultra wide and a 5 megapixel color filter. Now the color filter is completely irrelevant, so just disregard that. Now it shoots at 4K at 60, which is good. Of course, all of these devices shoot at 1080p at 60 on the rear cameras. Just in case I didn't mention that, every single phone that I'm talking about shoots at 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second on the rear cameras. All right. And now with the selfie, you get 16 megapixel wide and shoots video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. So no 1080p at 60 on the front camera and no 4K also on the front camera on this device. So far, you got the LG Wing and the OnePlus 8 Pro, no 4K on the front camera at all, and no 1080p at 60 on the front-facing camera. So that's why they are where they are. But I will say this, image quality, the video quality on this device is excellent. I'm serious. I mean, this is by far the best OnePlus set of cameras I've ever used. They really take phenomenal pictures, and the video is really nice too. So I was really shocked when I did my review and I went out and I took photos with this. I was really shocked based on what I've used before in the past. So OnePlus 8 Pro comes in at number 7. Coming up at number 6. Now, this may surprise some people. Some people may get mad because, you know, some people get emotional when it comes to tech products. But, hey, it is what it is. This is my number 6 device. The LG V60. Now, this is a beast. Takes phenomenal photos and videos even today. And, you know, LG, you know, has left, you know, the smartphone market a few years ago. But this phone is still a beast. Now, you get a 64 megapixel standard lens with optical image stabilization. You're getting a 13 megapixel ultra wide and a 3 megapixel time of flight depth sensor. So really only 2 lenses on this camera. So you got the standard and you got the ultra wide. Now, that was kind of disappointing. I wish they would have put a telephoto on here. That would have really been nice, but they didn't. Now, you can shoot video at 8K 30 frames per second, which is good. You're going to get more stabilization that way. And 4K at 60. When it comes to the front cameras, 10 megapixel standard lens, so no wide angle on the front-facing camera, which I don't understand that. And it shoots at 4K at 60 frames per second. So this is the first one out of the first 3 that I've done that actually shoots 4K at 60 on the front camera. These 2 don't even have any 4K capability at all on the front-facing camera. So these cameras are really, really good. I like them. The manual mode, when you're shooting in manual mode with this, takes, you know, shooting photos and videos to a whole nother level. Now, if it's just point and shoot, you know, the pictures they're good. They're not phenomenal, but they're good. But when you go in a manual mode and you just tweak things a little bit, it just takes everything to another level. So these cameras on here are great too, and I enjoy them very much. So the LG V60 coming in at number 6 as far as my favorite set of cameras on a smartphone. Coming in at number 5. Now, I'm sure this one is going to surprise some people. The Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Look, let me tell y'all something. This phone has been around for a little bit, but I'm telling you right now, the cameras on this device are still great. When I was using this on a regular basis, I absolutely loved the cameras on this device, and you know, the camera and the video quality. Now, with this phone, you're getting a 12 megapixel wide dual pixel lens with optical image stabilization, a 12 megapixel telephoto with optical image stabilization and 2 times optical zoom, and 16 megapixel ultra wide with super steady video. Shoots video at 4K at 60 frames per second, so no 8K on this, which you really don't need unless you got something to, you know, to watch it on an 8K, you know, screen. And with the selfie camera, you got a 10 megapixel wide dual pixel lens, shoots video at 4K at 60 frames per second. So now you have another device that actually shoots 4K at 60 frames per second, unlike the OnePlus and the LG Wing. Now, the LG V60 shoots 4K at 60 on the rear and the front cameras, the same as this. But I find that the image quality and the video quality on the Note 10 Plus, I just like it a little bit better than that of the V60. And I love all the shooting different modes that's on here. This camera, on here is very versatile. So I like it a whole lot. Not saying the LG is not versatile at all, but this one just has more shooting modes that I really like. So the Note 10 Plus coming in at number 5. And I'm sure that surprised some people, because some people would, may agree that the LG V60 got better cameras. And, to some people, they might. Everybody's eyes are different. Everybody sees things differently. This is just the way I see them based on my old decrepit eyes. Alrighty. Let me see. That's 4. So this is number 4 right here. Let me see. 4, 5. Yeah, 4. So coming in at number 4, the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. Beast cameras. Now, of course, some people are going to say, no way, you got that focusing issue. Listen, Samsung dropped a lot of updates on this camera, and the focusing issue is not that bad at all. It really isn't. Now, let me make this very clear. I'm not no camera aficionado. I shoot mostly point and shoot. That's it. I don't go super deep into the cameras like a lot of other people do. I don't make the majority of my reviews all about the cameras, because it's not just about all the cameras to me. There's so many other aspects of a device that I like more than the camera. So it's not about just the camera to me, but how other people shoot their videos is how they shoot them. I'm not coming down on nobody, but this was all about the cameras when this device came out, because remember, this device was $1,400, and they put some cameras on here that had never been put on any smartphone previously. Now, let me show you how beastly these was when it came out. Now, I'm telling you, now they've kind of downsized a little bit, but actually they went up, because with the S23 Ultra, you got a 200 megapixel camera. But they did dummy down some stuff, but it's not just about the numbers. It's about the overall quality at the end of the day. But just let me give you the specs on this camera when it was released. So you had 108 megapixel wide with optical image stabilization, a 48 megapixel periscope telephoto lens with optical image stabilization and 4 times optical zoom, 10 times hybrid zoom, and 100 times digital zoom. So this was the first smartphone that could go, up to 100 times zoom, which is crazy. Now, it's not going to look very good, but if you're just trying to look for something, it's good for that. But if you're trying to take a picture with that, it's going to look like an oil paint. It's not going to look good at all. Okay? Not at all. And you got a 12 megapixel ultra wide with super steady video and a 3 megapixel depth sensor. So you got 4 different lenses on this, but I don't really count the depth sensor, honestly, but it's on here. Now, it shoots video at 8K, 24 frames per second, and 4K at 60 frames per second. And with the selfie, you got a 40 megapixel wide that shoots video at 4K at 60 frames per second. So now if you look real close, you can kind of see where it says 100 times zoom. Now, it's really not that easy to see, honestly, if you're just looking at it straight on. And people made a big deal about, I don't know why they had to write down the 100 times zoom. You can barely see it. Like, when I'm putting it, the only way I could really see that if I got to put it really in direct sunlight and I'm trying to see it, you really can't see that. So I don't know why people made that out of a big deal. It's not. But let me say this. These cameras are great. As far as I'm concerned, the video, great. I've used the video, no problems. Like I said, the autofocus was not an issue for me. This thing takes phenomenal pictures. I took a bunch of photos and videos of my son's college graduation, and they turned out great. These cameras are awesome. I love it. So the S20 Ultra comes in at number 4. Yep, 4. So that's 4, 5, 6. Yep, number 4. All right, so let's get to number 3. Number 3 is the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Now, some of y'all shouldn't be surprised by this because the Pixel is known for its cameras. Okay, not just the software, but the cameras. Now, when you see Pixel commercials, what are they talking about mostly? The cameras, because that's what it's all about. Now, of course, you got the Google software that makes the Pixel, but it, for the most, it's about those cameras. Okay, so with the Google Pixel 6 Pro, you got a 50 megapixel wide dual pixel with laser autofocus and optical image stabilization, a 48 megapixel telephoto, which I like, 4 times optical zoom, 20 times digital zoom, and also a 12 megapixel ultra wide and shoots video at 4K at 60 frames per second. And with the selfie, you got 11 megapixel ultra wide that shoots video at 4K at 30 frames per second. So no 60 frames per second for the front facing camera, but you can shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second. I think most people will be satisfied with that. Okay. Now, I don't think I need to really tell you how great the photos and videos are on this device because they're pretty phenomenal. Seriously. No joke. Love the look of this phone, but these cameras are the truth. They the real deal. Seriously, they the real deal. Love them. They are the image processing and image quality to me is a little bit better than that of the S20 Ultra. Of course, the Ultra could zoom further, but it's not just about zoom. It's about overall quality. Now, I will say this. The video of the S20 is a little more stable and smoother than that of the Pixel 6 Pro. The video on here is not the best that I have, but the picture quality is better than the S20 Ultra. But video, I'll give that to the S20 Ultra. But, just overall, this phone here is known for its camera. So I'm going with the Pixel 6 Pro at number 3. All right, we're almost at the end now. Coming in at number 2, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Man, you talk about somebody that love the cameras on this device. Absolutely love the cameras on this device. Now, I had the S20 Ultra first, and then I got the Note 20 Ultra. And these cameras are better than that of the S20 Ultra. Why? Because you got the laser autofocus. See, that's what the S20 Ultra didn't have. But when you went and got the Note 20 Ultra, now there was no auto focusing issues whatsoever with the Note 20 Ultra. Now, with the Note 20 Ultra, you're also getting 108 megapixel wide with optical image stabilization and laser autofocus, 12 megapixel periscope telephoto with optical image stabilization and 5 times optical zoom, 50 times hybrid zoom. So I don't know why they didn't put 100 times zoom on this like they did the Note 20 Ultra, but they just gave us 50 times hybrid zoom. Now, even at 30 times zoom on this, it's really, really good. You can see everything nice and clear. You also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Now, it shoots video at 8K, 24 frames per second, and 4K at 60 frames per second. When it comes to the selfie, 10 megapixel wide, dual pixel lens, and shoots video at 4K at 60 frames per second. So here we have another device that shoots at 60 at 4K. So those would be the LG V60 shoots at 4K at 60 on the front. The Note 10 Plus shoots at 4K at 60 on the front. The S20 Ultra shoots at 4K at 60 on the front camera. And the Note 20 Ultra does as well. So these are the only ones that shoot at 4K at 60 on the front. Now, the Pixel shoots at 4K at 30. So that's still good that it shoots at 4K. But man, just look at my full review for this device. You'll see the video and the picture quality. Unbelievable. This is one of number 2 by far. Number 2 out of all of these, even against the Pixel. I like the image quality on the Note 20 Ultra over the Pixel 6 Pro. So the Note 20 Ultra coming in at number 2. And for those of you that know me, been watching my channel for a while, I'm sure you already may know what number 1 is. So this shouldn't be no surprise to you. Coming in at number 1, the best set of cameras on all of my smartphones is the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra. Beastly cameras. Of course, you got the secondary display. You can shoot videos and take pictures with that as well. These 120 times zoom. Look, these cameras just these cameras are next level. I'm serious, next level. The only one that's close is the Note 20 Ultra, but this is still number 1 by far, easily number 1. Now, with the Mi 11 Ultra, you're getting a 50 megapixel wide dual pixel lens with optical image stabilization and Ultra HD resolution. Also, you're getting a 48 megapixel periscope telephoto with optical image stabilization and 5 times optical zoom, 10 times optical zoom, and 120 times hybrid zoom. You're also getting a 48 megapixel ultra wide with dual LED flash, shoots video at 8K at 24 frames per second and 4K at 60 frames per second. When it comes to the selfie camera, you're getting a 20 megapixel wide that shoots at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So no 4K recording on the front-facing camera. That's the only thing that's disappointing about this device, is that there's no 4K on the front camera. And there should be, especially with this calling itself an Ultra. But for some reason, Chinese phones, for some odd reason, don't want to put 4K on their front-facing cameras. I don't know any that has recently. I mean, every time I'm looking at videos dealing with Chinese phones, there's always 1080p at 30, 1080p at 60, but no 4K. I don't know why. Samsung 4K, Pixel 4K, Apple 4K on the front. I don't know why these other companies won't put 4K on the front facing camera. It doesn't make any sense to me. And especially this calling itself an Ultra. Anything that calls itself an Ultra and you're specializing the cameras, everything should be top notch. You should have 4K on everything. But that doesn't take away from the overall camera experience on this, because as you can see, that's what this phone is all about, the cameras. I've done at least 3 videos, at least 3 videos on the photos and videos on this phone alone. So I'll put those up here where you can see them. Phenomenal. These cameras blow my mind. I just went to drop my car off because I had to get some stuff done to it. And I just took some random pictures when I was waiting for the trolley to come pick me up. And I was just dumbfounded by how clear some of these photos were that I took. Let me see if I can let you see them just real quick. Just let me let you see it. Just random. Now, this is just of the ground where you stand, like for the trolley. Like, this is where they don't want you to stand when they pull up. But look at the detail. Look how clear that is. This was at, I think this was at 20 times zoom or 10 times zoom, one of them. This was just a regular. This was at 10 times zoom. This was up close. I can't remember the zoom. If you could see the clarity, the sharpness. This thing just takes, the photo quality on this device is ridiculous. It really is. I love this. That's why this is my favorite device overall. Overall, this is my favorite device because it has the best display. It has the best battery life. It has the secondary display on the back. It has an IR blaster. It has a great fingerprint sensor, great face unlock, super fast, super smooth. The brightest display I have at 1700 nits peak brightness. Charges super fast, 67 watt wired charging, 67 watt wireless charging, and 10 watt reverse wireless charging. This phone here is the best phone for photos and videos, and also just it's number one in every department. Only thing that Note 20 beats it out is the Note is with the S Pen. And also I like One UI just a little bit better than that of MIUI, but I don't have an issue with MIUI at all. So these are my favorite camera smartphones, but the Mi 11 Ultra is number one. So number one, Mi 11 Ultra. Number two, Samsung Note 20 Ultra. Number three, Pixel 6 Pro. Number four, S20 Ultra. Number five, LG Wing. No, I'm sorry. Number five is Note 10 Plus. Number six, LG V60. Number seven, OnePlus 8 Pro. And coming in at number 8 is the LG Wing. So thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Do check out those videos so you can see the footage of all of these devices. I've done reviews on all these devices. You can check out, the camera section of my reviews and check out the photo and video quality for yourself. So I appreciate all of you, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Stay safe and peace.